Ah, Miss Woodhouse. Emma, allow me to present to you my son, Mr. Frank Churchill.
Miss Woodhouse. We meet at last.
And how do you like my son, Mr.
I was extremely happy to meet Mrs. Weston. I was sure I would like her from her letters, but I didn't expect to see such beauty. I had imagined, well, a tolerably well-looking woman of a certain age. I didn't expect to see a pretty young woman.
No, I don't.
Mr. Churchill, you couldn't praise her too highly for me, but you mustn't let Mrs. Weston hear you speaking of her as a pretty young woman.
Oh, I hope I should know better. I know whom I might praise without being thought extravagant in my terms.
I must be going. I have business at the Crown. But I needn't hurry anybody else.
No, if you have business, sir. Perhaps I should pay a visit, which must be paid at some time. A neighbour of yours, the name is Fairfax? But I believe the family are called Barnes or Bates?
Of course, we know Mrs. Bates. We passed by the house. Miss Bates was at the window. Miss Fairfax, of course, you met at Weymouth. A fine girl. Call upon her, by all means.
Oh, it is of little matter. Another day would do as well. Well, there was that degree of acquaintance at Weymouth.
Go today, go today. What's right to be done cannot be done too soon. If you don't call early, it will be a slight.
Nothing for it, then. I hope that you will have time to introduce me to Highbury, Miss Woodhouse, and show me all the points of interest.
This is the Crown Inn.
That looks a fine room on the first floor. One could hold a very good ball there, I should say.
I believe it was a ballroom many years ago.
Then we must revive it. Restore its former glory. Are you fond of dancing?
Oh, very fond indeed. But there are too few young people in the village now to hold a dance.
Surely not. I'm sure we shall find enough, even if we have to send out as far as Leatherhead. No, a ball there shall be, and you and I shall dance at it. And there's the Bates house. You see, I'm getting to be quite at home in Highbury already.
Did you pay your visit yesterday?
Yes. Oh, yes, I was just going to mention it. I thought it would never end. 10 minutes would have sufficed, but there was no getting away. The talking aunt, you know. I was there 3/4 of an hour.
And how did you think Miss Fairfax looked?
Oh, very ill. If ladies can be allowed to look ill, a most deplorable want of complexion.
No, I won't allow that. Miss Fairfax has her own style of beauty. Perhaps it's not to your taste.
Yes, perhaps that's it. Yes. I believe you're right.
Did you see her often at Weymouth? Were you often in the same society?
Ah, this must be Ford's, that everybody attends every day of their lives. Let's go in. Then I can prove myself a true citizen of Highbury. Well, I must buy something at Ford's. I dare say they sell gloves.
Oh, yes. Lay out half a guinea in Ford's and you'll be adored by all Highbury.
And what more delights does Highbury have in store for me?
Oh, I fear we are coming to the end of them. This is Mr. Elton's house.
Ah.
It's rather small, of course, but quite suitable for him. Mr. Elton is the vicar and considered by some to be a very fine young man.
Oh, I know a good deal of Mr. Elton, though I've never met him.
Really?
I know he is at present in Bath, just recently engaged and shortly to be married to a Miss Augusta Hawkins of Bristol with a fortune of £10,000.
Then you know more than I do.
Oh, I had it from Miss Bates. Everybody's full of it. Agog to see Mr. Elton's bride. So, this is where they will live. I think they'll be very snug and happy. It's a perfectly good house to share with the woman you truly love. A man would be a blockhead who wanted more.
You can say this, you who have been used to Enscombe with every degree of luxury.
Well, I care nothing for Enscombe. What is the good of wealth and luxury where there is no true happiness? Should we make the full circle to Randall's? You see, I have got my bearings.
Thank you, Jane.
This is a handsome instrument. Do you play, Miss Woodhouse?
Of course. but not very well. Not nearly as well as Jane Fairfax. Have you heard her play?
Yes, once or twice at Weymouth. She appeared to me to play well, but I know nothing of the matter myself. Though one of the party always preferred Miss Fairfax's playing to that of his fiancée.
So, Mr. Dixon is musical, is he?
Yes. Mr. and Mrs. Dixon were the persons. I thought it a very strong proof of Miss Fairfax's excellence.
Proof indeed. But wasn't Miss Fairfax embarrassed at this preference of Mr. Dixon's? And did he perhaps prefer her in other ways, too?
I really cannot say.
No. Who can tell what Jane Fairfax is feeling? She is so very reserved. I could never attach myself to anyone so completely reserved.
No. There is safety in reserve, but no attraction. One cannot love a reserved person. Father, I believe I must go to London tomorrow.
To London? Whatever for?
To get his hair cut?
I fear he has, Mr. Knightley. 16 miles there and 16 miles back. I told him he was a coxcomb, but he would not be dissuaded.
Foppery and nonsense.
All young people will have their little whims, Mr. Knightley.
Yes, I see. Just the sort of trifling, silly fellow I took him for.
I hope he will not get it cut too short. I'm very much afraid he will catch cold from it.
You will excuse me now, Mr. Woodhouse. I have some business to attend to, which I postponed to be here. Doubtless I shall meet this young man at your party for him, Mrs. Weston. I bid you all good day.